Hello, hello.
Hello. I
Hey.
I forgot to take my meds this morning.
Well, that's not good. You should not forget to take your meds. That's not a good thing to forget.
Yeah, I'm taking them right now. Okay.
For dial for recreational purposes.
Totally.
Wait. Hey, Julep, how are you doing, sweetheart?
It's Julep.
That's my boy White.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right. Do you have the game?
I
You're doing good. That's
do
good.
now.
Let me scroll down and find you. My
Okay,
glasses are
now
not
it's
on. This might
hosted.
be difficult for me.
Oh no.
Ah, there we go.
Oh, rain noises. Okay.
Alrighty. Hacker voice. I'm in.
Pog, pog,
Oh,
pog,
it's so
pog,
cute.
pog.
Julep's so cute.
Julep is so cute.
Adorable, even. Connection. Connection. Failed.
Oh no.
Excuse me, Stardew. You're not. No, no. I refuse to fail the connection. No, unfail that connection.
Um.
Let me try joining again. Give me a sec.
Yeah, let me know if I can rehost too.
Okay. Here we go.
Cool.
Hacker voice. I'm in.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Loading. Alrighty. Alright, thank you for coming by and saying hello, Julep. Hello to you.
Hello, hello. Oh, it's thunderstorm. Anyway, how are you doing, sweetie?
Me? I'm trying to survive this fucking heat. It is
Oh my god,
currently,
that's right. You're like right in the heat wave.
yeah, last I checked, it was, 39 degrees Celsius here.
Oof.
That's over 100, maybe the like high 90s, around 100 in,
Yeah.
Um, it is very hot. I have in my room, thankfully, my dad found me a box fan that we have, and then I have another fan pointing at me from my dresser, which is behind me to my right. I'm pointing. You can't see because I don't have arms.
Imagine not having arms. Couldn't be me.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I've been trying to get used to because I tend to gesticulate when I talk, right?
Same.
I do that quite often, and it's not something I can do without hand tracking.
Yeah.
If you stand in the sun long enough, you will die. I mean, yeah, that's true.
Like, actually.
Yeah. No, I know, which is why I'm making sure to keep my water bottle refilled. The kind of water bottle I have is really nice because it's one of those really fancy metal ones. Is it a clean canteen?
Ooh, yeah.
No, it's not. It's not quite a clean canteen, but it's of a similar make. Similar design. It's close enough, essentially. It has been working really well, but I poured my water like about an hour ago. Oh, it's still crisp and ice cold.
Nice.
That's good shit.
Yeah, those are nice. I have sort of a knockoff one.
That's what mine is too. Probably it's like one of those clean canteen knockoffs. The clean canteen ones are real nice.
Yeah. But
they're the ones that look like a capsule. I think.
Akorza hates it because I keep knocking
one.
it off the table, and it makes a really loud noise because it's metal.
Oh yeah, no, I know exactly what noise you're talking about. Wait, is it? Play a sound. Okay, good.
Time to milk me. Thanks for the follow. Welcome, my cup.
That is indeed a username. Amazing. But yeah, one thing I noticed is that my model has actually, like, I think I had it, I moved it off to the right of the screen for a collab. and I never moved it back, and it was bothering me for the longest time. So I fixed it actually the other day.
Oh my god. That's hilarious.
It was bugging the crap out of me.
Oops.
Okay, you have my... Still working on my watering can. Hurry up, Clint.
Oh. I thought you meant me. I was like,
No,
I don't have your watering can, because I'm an idiot.
No, you're fine, you're fine.
How do I play this game again? That's right, that's
a good question.
It's only been a week. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble today.
That's a mood, though.
Alright, and then that stuff gets sold.
But yeah, Sir Hat, 39 degrees Celsius. Yeah, it's freaking hot.
Yeah, it's really hot up there right now. Luckily, it hasn't been too bad for us down here. It's around like 34, 35 right now.
Mm-hmm. One of my partners who lives in Canada is having a real rough time of it now because Canadian buildings are designed to keep heat in.
Yeah.
And that sounds pretty freaking awful. And I don't know if they have air conditioning. In fact, I don't think they do.
Oof.
If Hiromi's in chat, I don't think they have air conditioning. So it's pretty nasty. It AC, but it's weak. Yeah. I don't know if my other partner who lives in Canada has AC at all.
I guess I'm just gonna do some fishing today.
I was gonna go explore a volcano, except for Clint does not have my
damn.
my watering can done, and I need that to get into.
I should, you know, before I go fishing, I'm gonna upgrade my. Yeah, we have lots of your iridium. Oh, we don't have enough iridium bars. Never mind.
Oh, I have the iridium supply.
Oh, okay. I will go tomorrow and upgrade my axe. I'm gonna smelt some iridium because we have lots of ore.
Yeah, we have lots of ore because I had been killing a lot of stuff. Like, I feel like the skull mines are actually more dangerous than the volcano mines.
You know,
that might just be
it.
how over geared I am. The skull mines are also technically infinite.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's actually limited stuff in the other, the volcano.
Ah, nice 20
So the volcano
Celsius.
does have some really nice.
That sounds so good.
Ooh, 20 Celsius. I think it's like 15 Celsius is my preferred temperature, which is about 45 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
That's because it's cold enough that I can still get away with wearing a cloak.
Yeah. Totally.
And as I talked to, I told my chat before, I actually do own several cloaks. I own two. They're both very nice. One of them, I think the button actually broke off of it, and I need to go ahead and sew that back on. Your AC's on, but it doesn't reach the entire apartment. Yeah, that sounds awful, honey. I hope you're able to stay cool. Make sure you drink lots of water. And just be careful.
The good news for me is we have the thermostat set pretty high, like a pretty high temperature. But my housemates left their door open, and they have a big window open, so the sun shining into the hallway where the thermostat is. So it thinks the house is much hotter than it is, which means my room is nice and chilly.
Nice, nice. We don't really have, like, proper, what's it called? Air conditioning here.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't in London either. But my wife bought a standing air conditioning unit, like a really big one that we lovingly nicknamed the Cold Friend.
Oh, hell yeah. I love that.
Yeah, we nicknamed it the Cold Friend, and I think she even put it like a pair of googly eyes on it.
Oh, good.
On the front.
I love that so much.
It was either she put googly eyes on the front of that, or it was no, the googly eyes were on a fan actually, and that was that fan also had so the place my wife used to work for had an M for its logo, and so she turned it upside down, and it looked like an OO.
Oh yes.
And it looked really funny.
Hell yes, I love that.
But yeah, normalize putting googly eyes on your appliance.
Yes.
But yeah, that
reminds me of
that
the Gambate
really
Roomba-san post.
I don't think I've seen that.
Raiding!
Oh my god!
Oh, yo, raid.
A raid!
Nice.
Oh, Turkey Fluffs! Hi, sweetie! Welcome, welcome, raiders! Shit. I'm distracted by the raid. I will tell you in just a second. I'm fucking up fishing. So, welcome, raiders. If any of you don't know me, my name is Coffee Kuma. I am a gay bear girl on a quest for more wives. I play historical grand strategy and chill, relaxing games on Sunday. And I hope that my chat can be a nice, comfy place for you to hang out, regardless of who you are. The Chuny in the corner is Lily Dusk. You can use !collab to check out both of our perspectives, and we're playing Stardew, as we do on Sundays.
Hello everyone, I'm Lily Dusk. I'm a resident Chuny witch, and I'm training to become the Demon Lord. I stream all sorts of stuff on my Twitch channel. I play a lot of FPS games. I love FPSs a lot, especially Halo and Destiny. Destiny 2 is what I've been playing a lot. I play it with my my mods and people in my community quite often.
Yeah.
And thank you again, everyone, for coming by. This is again our Stardew block, where we have just kind of vibe. It's super comfy.
Also, I did check in with Akorza today. I think she would have joined us, but her power's out.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I hope that happens soon. Speaking of Halo, I'm playing some Reach Castle Wars right now. Nice.
Yo, wait, someone ported the Castle Wars map from RuneScape to Reach, because another thing I love is I love RuneScape. Castle Wars used to be my shit. I love Castle Wars. That's so fun. I definitely need to play on that map sometime.
Rocks or...
Okay, it looks like someone actually was able to get the nuts from up north, but I don't know how they did it.
Huh.
Like,
I don't know if that was me.
Wait.
Oh right, I forgot I was smelting iridium.
Because the nuts there are gone. I still want to know what's in that cave, though, is the thing. We are 60 nuts out of the 100 total, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Because you don't have to have them all at once.
Ah, got it.
Which is nice.
Oh. Sure, that's really funny, Heavy.
Amazing.
Alright, sleep bear. So I literally don't think I can finish this coffee. It's gross, so I'm gonna crack open a Red Bull.
Oh yeah, what kind of coffee was it?
It's coffee bean Hawaiian blend, but our coffee maker is just not good.
Oh, is
So
it like
our
on its
coffee
last legs or something?
It's been on its last legs for years.
Oh, it sounds like you need a new one.
Yeah. Well, and I had a pour-over pot, but my housemate broke it while I was
Oh.
away at Akorza's.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm
Sit up a
still
little bit.
kind of mad about it. At least it isn't Civet Coffee. I would love to try Civet Coffee. I'm curious.
I'm of like the opinion, like I actually like instant coffee because specifically like British instant coffee.
Yeah.
It's actually really really good. Because it turns out when everyone has a kettle in their home, instant coffee tends to be pretty high quality.
That makes sense.
Even though a majority of the domination in the UK is tea drinkers.
Right.
But there is this one brand, I think it was Kenco Colombian Roast. And that was so good that I could actually just drink that black. And normally I can't drink my coffee black. Because it's way too bitter for me. But this specific type of instant coffee was just so good that like sometimes I didn't even like mix milk in with it. Also, hello hybrid, how are you doing? Good afternoon. Good to see you.
So many batteries. Fuck. I keep breaking fences.
Haha, what
gates.
if Akorza was a fence? I'm doing well, hybrid. I'm just vibing, as you can see. Alright, it's 9 p.m., not 8 p.m.
It's raining or thunderstorming something fierce. Oh, I love thunderstorms too, actually. I think they're really
don't
comfy.
like thunder, but I like rain.
Well, yeah, I don't like
thunder-
thunder either, but...
Thunder makes me anxious.
It depends on
Allie
where
wishes
you
she was
are.
a fence. God, Allie, please.
Hey, Allie.
God.
Wink wonk.
Hey, Putnam, how are you doing?
Yeah, I didn't think thunder scared me until I lived in Texas. And
I'm sorry you had to live in Texas.
Yeah, me too. And that one storm just completely changed my opinion of thunder.
We have a crumbled wall. It's about time for those walls to like start crumbling.
Oh yeah.
Trying to get a pre-built site for your comms because you're too broke to get one, but too dumb to use the preset. So what I use for commissions, or what I actually have set up, I haven't actually like gotten any through this, but Google Sheets.
Oh yeah.
Highly recommend Google Sheets because you can
That makes
customize
sense.
literally everything. And it's a pretty nice service, and it's fairly streamlined, and it looks professional too. Or like, not Google Sheets, Google Forms. Sorry.
Google Form. Yeah, sorry. That's what I thought you meant.
Yeah, that is what I meant, and I'm glad you understood what I meant.
Yes.
Wait, no, I don't want to sell my hoe. I want to keep Allie for as long as possible.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, no,
oh man, who do I make this joke about?
I actually have a thing set up for my Minecraft skin commissions, through Google Forms. What is that? What is going on out there? I'm sorry if you can hear that on my mic.
I'm not hearing it, at least, or I'm not noticing.
Really? Because there's a really loud drill going on in the background right now,
Oh, no.
and I'm surprised that no one can hear it. Which means that the noise isolation on this mic is phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't hear it.
That's
awesome.
Crazy. Like,
Oh, I heard
have,
it a little
like,
bit.
Yeah.
I hear it a little bit when you speak.
Like, I've had like my family vacuuming outside my room and no one can hear it.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's so good. You hear someone molding in the background? No. that's probably, if you do hear something, it's probably my dad doing something. I think he was so what my dad did for so we have an air conditioner that my sister used when we were in college. She was in college. And he put that on a stool outside the back sliding door, and then taped up some TEDx boxes to keep hot air from flowing in. Like, it is like the biggest bodge I've ever seen, but it's so brilliant that I can't help but not appreciate. I can't help but appreciate it.
Amazing.
It's so wonderfully bodged. And for those of you that don't know, a bodge is it's British slang for something that's like, it's a quick and dirty solution for something, but the thing is that's most important is that it works. It may not work long term, but it works. And how this term entered my vocabulary is because, one, I lived in the UK for 2 years, and two, I watch a lot of Tom Scott videos.
Yes.
I absolutely love his content. His content's wonderful.
I do like Tom Scott, yeah. Or Hammer 40k Orc Logic. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Sort of, yeah. It's basically like it's like putting things, like, essentially putting things together with duct tape. Or like packing things together. Most like weird, like a bunch of like, I feel like there's this kind of cool art to bodging things. Like, it's elegant in a really fucking stupid way, if that makes sense.
It's the British version of MacGyvering something.
Yes, actually, quite literally. But they like the British English has an actual word for it, is the thing, like,
right,
like a word that predates MacGyver.
Fair.
Alrighty, time to go into the Volcano Mines. I'll see if I can get us some more iridium.
Cool.
Also murder some enemies, see what else I can find.
We have an okay amount, but we could definitely use more.
I mean, you can never have enough resources.
True.
It's a farming simulator, and you can never have too much stuff.
Gotta be farming.
Anyway, hey Ren, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well, and hopefully, if you're in a place where it is like as hot as it is here, hopefully it's not as hot as it is here, because here it is absolutely miserable. I'm managing though.
I'm sorry, Marnie. You give your cows what? I want to try giving my cows rainbow trout to increase their milk production.
Does that work?
Huh? Excuse? Fishy milk. Love video game logic, yeah.
Sure.
Oh, are you, sounds like you're cutting out for me now.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I just haven't been saying a whole lot.
Oh, okay.
I was just remarking on how, these enemies are being jerks.
Oh, that's what you said. Okay, yeah. That's what I heard. Never mind.
No, I tend to mutter under my breath sometimes when playing a video game.
Yeah, no, it's cool. No, no judgment here.
This is unrelated to anything going on, but you did find a full upload of the original Forge tutorials that shipped with Marathon 1. Oh, that sounds kind of dope, actually. Speaking of, modding, mod tool... Oh, Marathon Infinity, sorry. I read that as 1, because I don't have my glasses on. Speaking of modding, the Halo mod tools for MCC just shipped the first batch for Halo Combat Evolved, and that comes up with an updated version of the Halo editing kit. And yeah, believe it or not, there actually is a difference between the one that we have now and the one that we had for original HEK in 2003. The new version, I believe, can have up to 4 gigabytes of memory rather than run off of 4 gigabytes of memory rather than 2. Yeah, and those modules will be usable with Infinite. Interesting. Yeah, no, I've heard that Infinite will have mod tools as well, and I'm excited. Honestly, that's like really cool because I watched the Halo modding scene, and I kind of want to get into it myself.
Yeah.
But my problem is I'm not a 3D modeler. I'm more of a scripter type person. So a lot of my stuff would probably end up being more on like the game balance sides of things rather than making crazy shit. Yo, you're a bad 3D modeler? I mean, I can 3D model somewhat. It's just been a long time since I've actually touched an Autodesk product. That's what I learned. Need to team up with someone who makes models. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I would love to make Halo mods. And in fact, one of the ideas I had was to restore some of the content that was originally slated to be in Halo 1. And basically make an expanded version of Halo CE. Like, I wanted to add in stuff like the gravity rifle, the what's it called? Engineers, the Spectre. As well as additions that were added in the Halo 1 PC port by Gearbox Software to the main campaign, which is actually what the original idea was, is just to do a quick and dirty add just the stuff from the Gearbox campaign. And I was like, well, why stop there?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the Spectre / Shadow, yeah. Why stop there when I can make a mod that basically is what Bungie's original try to be as close to Bungie's original vision of Halo Combat Evolved as possible. And then another idea I had was to rebalance. Yeah, putting the fuel rod and the flamethrower in. That was actually the original thing. It was like add stuff like the rocket hog, the fuel rod, and the flamethrower.
Which shouldn't be that hard, I don't think. From what
No,
I know
not at
of
all.
the game.
It's just a simple matter of like literally dragging and dropping tags and editing the grunt bypads so that instead they use the fuel rod that was in what's it called? Halo 1 on the PC.
Right.
But another thing I was thinking about doing is I was thinking about, like, instead of using the Gearbox version of the flamethrower, I wanted to maybe try and restore the original Bungie version that was found actually in pre-release builds of the game. Because I know there is a way to decompile tags because I've done it before to take apart how stuff works. And one thing I really want to do is I want to, like, again, try to make it as close to Bungie's original vision as possible. Yeah, but that one uses the Banshee Scream for fire effect. I mean, obviously, it would be like, I'd try to, like, port in the original HUD. Like, basically what I mean is, like, port in the original HUD assets. And use some of the Gearbox stuff for other things. Because I actually really like the HUD assets used for the flamethrower. I was also planning on making the Sentinel beams able to be picked up by the player as well. That would be kind of fun. Because what's it called? You can't actually use the Sentinel beam until Halo 2.
Right.
Though, I'd need to, like, look over some more of the documents regarding some of the other stuff, like the gravity rifle, for example, because we only have like bits and pieces of what the gravity rifle does, and it does like weird stuff. It acts like a weird kind of flamethrower type deal with a scope. The damage effects are all bugged in the retail version of Low CE.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of a mess to try and figure out what the original intent for the weapon was. I'm gonna die in the volcano, just so
Okay.
you know.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I want to like try and restore and cut content.
Level 10 fishing.
So Warhammer got the idea for the. I don't know. I don't actually know about that, Ren. Because the gravity rifle is really weird. It was intended to be some kind of Covenant version of a sniper rifle, which may have eventually evolved into the beam rifle. But there's so little that's known about it that I don't actually have any idea.
Huh.
Like, one of my ideas was to make it more like a long-range kind of thing, like the focus rifle. Like, it could have been like predecessor to the focus rifle from Reach, or it could have been more like the beam rifle from 2 and onward. And I don't know. I kind of want to play with like maybe trying to use both ideas somehow. I feel like that would be neat. Yeah, no, Warhammer is way older than Halo. I'm just saying that the gravity rifle, all we have left of it in the code is a bunch of bits and pieces that really you can't really glean any information from. Cherokee, thank you for the raid. Welcome, Raiders.
Oh, hell
Pull
yeah.
yourselves up a chair and have yourself some tea, and I hope you enjoy yourselves at my little tea party. How is everyone doing today? Good to see y'all. Yo, Mass Effect? I've actually wanted to play that game for a real long time, and I never had the excuse to. I have the original games on Steam, but I never played them because they couldn't run on my PC at the time. One of these days... Yo, just beat Mass Effect 1 too? Or Mass Effect 1 today? Nice. How was it? Did you enjoy it?
Excuse me. I don't know why I just got so tired as soon as we started Stardew. Well, I was tired
Take care,
before
Allie.
Stardew.
I love you.
See ya, Allie.
One of your most played games? I've heard good things about it. And I've heard things about the third game.
I've heard things. I have also heard things.
Good things about the third game. Yes, I've heard things about the third game, but I've heard good things about the first two.
Same.
All I know is that people are horny for the aliens.
Yes, all of them.
Yeah, all of them. Like, Garrus especially.
Yeah.
Three's amazing, the ending just falls flat. Yeah, that's basically exactly what all I've heard about it. Is that it's a good game, ending not so much.
Yeah, that's about what I've heard too.
You want to see someone
Okay,
play through
Heavy,
two?
see ya.
One of these days, I will get around to playing the Mass Effect games. I don't know when that will be, but that is on the list of things I want to play. Speaking of games that are good, though, Yakuza 0 was on sale for like $5 yesterday, so I picked that up and expect me to play that sometime.
Nice.
That game slaps. I've seen gameplay of it in the past. It is very, very good. I definitely want to play it. It might be my next big game after Berseria, we'll see.
Nice.
Yakuza is like... I don't know how to describe the game. It's something that needs to be experienced.
No? Alright, well, the animals got out. I fucked it.
Buff dudes beating up other dudes, but it's that and so much more. And, like, the side quests are, it's like... The side quests honestly are where the game shines, because the writing for them is so good in Yakuza
Yes,
Zero.
I have seen things. I would say, let's say from what little I know about those games, is the writing is amazing.
Yeah, the writing is absolutely top-notch. What are you doing, Shane? Go away, I don't want to talk to you. But you just don't know the story? Yeah. I know bits and pieces about Zero, but I don't know the whole thing. Because I haven't played it to completion. I've just watched parts of it be played. And Yakuza is definitely... It's another one of those long-form games that I want to try and play. And maybe I'll play it after I finish another shorter game after playing Berseria. Because how I kind of like structuring stuff is I'll have one big, long, ongoing game, and then a couple smaller, and then another game in between. It's kind of a palette cleanser. I haven't done, like, I want to do more one-off streams, but I haven't done any in a long while. I think the last one-off stream I did was Valhalla Lost Word, but even that wasn't a one-off stream since I separated it into 2 different streams.
Right.
I am going to... Wait, I can't get these golden coconuts open because he has my fucking toe. Video games suck.
What kind of nerd plays video games? Am I right, gamers?
Couldn't be me. So, Coffee, if the animals get out, just leave the gate open so they can get back.
Oh, yeah. I did.
Side note, if you just wanted to get in that Warhammer Grab Gun was added in the 2010 sometime, just so that pulls that Warhammer did it first because they didn't. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's it called? Again, like, there's so little about... Like, we don't know... We know quite a bit about Halo 2's development. And we know quite a bit about Halo 1's early development, but we don't know, like, there's still some bits and pieces missing.
Sure.
And I'm hoping that in the future, 343 can give us more bits and pieces about what went on behind the scenes during the Halo 1 era. Because I know that they, like, they actually on a live stream showed off the build of Halo 2 that was on their new stencil engine that they ended up scrapping for the Blam engine because the original Xbox couldn't handle the stencil engine. The stencil engine was too demanding for the console at the time, so they went back to using Blam. Blam being Blam being the name for the Halo engine that's been used from Halo 1 all the way up to Halo 5.
Gotcha.
Like, a lot of... When I say the Halo... Like, it's weird, because, like, only people that know, like, about, like, Halo's dev processes and stuff know what I mean when I say Blam. Because that's, the internal name for the Halo engine. It doesn't have, like... It's not like, Source or id Tech, where it has this...
Right.
Name given to it by the developers. It's just the Halo engine. And, like... it's the Halo engine, and like they've kind of broken a bit of tradition with that with Infinite because they have a new engine that's called Slipspace.
How did I...
In fact, like early prototypes of Halo were called Monkey Nuts. I kid you not, that's actually what they called it.
Oh, it's Tab. Why was I hitting Tab earlier?
I don't know.
Weird.
But yeah, it's always, like, to me, it's always been known as Blam. Mainly because I have a fascination with first-person shooter engines from that era of games.
Checks
and
out.
A little bit beyond. But I feel like...
Oh, that's why I hit Tab. Tried to hit Tab. I was checking quests.
We have, like, stuff like Doom, and that's where first-person shooters were in their infancy, and then we have the Halo and Half-Life era, where I feel like first-person shooters were more well-defined on what they wanted to be, and how people wanted to make them.
Yeah, for sure.
I know for a fact that there's this really, really cool infograph, like this really cool graph out there of first-person shooters, the date they were made, and how they relate to the other engines that were, what's it called?
Interesting.
Were, the engines they were run on. I wish I knew where this graph is, because it's honestly, like, it's one of the coolest graphs on the internet. Your Titanfall, and things went downhill when Respawn wasn't doing it? Yeah. You wanna know something funny? Is, I riff a lot on Source Engine. Mainly, like, I love Source Engine, but it has its fair share of jank and cruft. And believe it or not, Titanfall is a Source Engine game.
Really?
Yes.
Titanfall 1.
Titanfall 1. I don't know, I think Titanfall 2 might be a Source Engine, but it's so heavily modified, it's the, what's the name of that thought experiment, the swap out parts of a ship.
Theseus.
Yeah, the ship of Theseus. It's the ship of Theseus kind of deal. Titanfall 2 is modded more same with Apex, yeah. And it shows that you can actually do some real cool shit with the Source Engine. And consequently, the Source Engine games I like, Valve wasn't as heavily involved with it, or the team. Like, wasn't the team that worked on Half-Life.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why Apex had really bad in-game. Yes, that's probably why. Because the voice codec that it uses is freaking ancient.
Right.
It's like I think the voice codec probably like you could probably date it back to the id Tech engine and Quake. But yeah, no, like I can't remember where I saw that that it was this huge like spider web graph of all the first-person shooter engines, or a bunch of them in the industry. Like it had stuff like the Build engine, Unreal, what's it called? It had Bland and Source on it as well. And it's just really interesting graphic, and I'd love to see it updated with newer games like Titanfall 1 and 2 and Apex, just to see like it's cool how you can trace back the source code of a lot of the engines back to how many you can trace back to Doom. Because
I'm sure, yeah.
Quake and id Tech went on to become a part of Source, because the Half-Life 1 used both Source used a very heavily modded id Tech. I want to say it was, I can't remember, Quake was id Tech 2 or id Tech 3. I want to say it was id Tech 3, but I may be mistaken.
Wait, shit, is hops summer or fall?
Hops is summer, because we didn't grow any the first year.
Ah, shit, we need to be growing hops.
3 was Quake 2. Oh, okay, yeah. So that, Life is based off of id Tech 2 then. Got it. Which is why, like, I feel like Half-Life's roots in id Tech 2, and when it went into becoming the Source Engine, like the Source Engine shows its age by a lot of the games that Valve makes, relying a lot on hit scan weapons, and like it is very, 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 very difficult to get fast-moving projectiles in Source, like base Source. Mainly because, like, at least when I worked with it, because if you want to get projectiles to go to a certain velocity in at least TF2, using weapon attributes, they start to veer off at weird angles. Once you get starting past around, like, I think it's like 1,000% of the speed of a TF2 rocket. I need to remember what the speed of a TF2 rocket and hammer units is, which probably doesn't mean anything to anyone but me. But it's like this is the kind of stuff I find interesting, because Team Fortress 2 is how I first got into learning about game engines and how stuff works under the hood. Because I used to actually be an admin on a custom weapon server back in 2012. And I made a couple things. And actually, this is obviously my anecdotal quotes. There's a weapon that was on that server that Valve ended up. It looks like Valve ended up taking inspiration from.
Cool.
Because they have lots of projectile weapons. Yeah. Historically, the Quake engine has been treated as second engine from successor as the Quake 2 engine. However, the engines are both considered variants of id Tech 2. Yeah, I thought both Quake 1 and 2 were id Tech 2. Because id Tech 3 would have been Doom 3. Or no, that would have been Quake 3 Arena. Was id Tech 3.
Hey, Epi, how's it going?
That's okay. I haven't played Quake 2 either. Well, I mean, I have. I just not very much.
Go inside. Go in. No! No! Ah! I hate it here.
Mac.
Sorry, I'm just screaming at the
it's
cows. Okay. Tired and hurty. Aw, I hope you feel better soon, Epi.
Despite the fact that it runs on OpenGL. Yeah, because, what's it called? GL Quake was a thing. From, like... Alright, Uriamho. This fault is probably Steve Jobs, yeah. Sad Steve Jobs died of Ligma.
Who's Steve Jobs?
Exactly.
Fuck, that joke is always funny to me.
I know, right? Same. What are rainbow shells? Do they have any use? I just found them on the beach.
I don't remember for rainbow shells.
Because it seems like something that would be of particular value.
I think they're good gifts, but I also know they can be used to make fertilizer because they count as fish. But I think they have a better use than that.
Well then I'm gonna give one to my wife. My other wife.
Oh my god, Epi, that's amazing.
Also drilling train. A game called Vampire.
Oh, Vampire's interesting. Yeah.
I've heard the name before, but I can't place where.
You play as a doctor who's also a vampire during the Spanish flu in England.
Interesting.
That's kind of all I know about it, though.
That sounds kind of neat.
It's a really interesting setting.
Anyway, what was I saying before? I was talking about projectile speeds in TF2, wasn't I? Once you get past a certain point, in at least TF2's variant of the Source engine, when you simulate a physical projectile, it veers off at weird angles. And it's something that I don't know if that carries over the rest of the Source engine, but that might be just because, like, it doesn't handle those kind of speeds well. However, the Blame engine does. In fact, what people most commonly think is of Halo 2 being hit scan, it's in fact not. Which is like why a lot of competitive players actually praise Halo 2 for being quote-unquote hit scan. When in fact the bullets are just moving at ridiculously high velocity.
What are you guys thinking for dinner?
Which gives the feel of weapons being hit scanned. However, like, again, Bungie was clever to not do this again because while it feels good to shoot people with hit scan weapons, when you get shot by them, it feels like horseshit. Which is why in the Halo campaign, you run into remarkably few enemies with hit scan weapons. And I believe this is where Half-Life failed. Because most, if not almost all of them, and same with Titanfall 2, yeah, it takes about 0.75 a second. Yeah, exactly. I feel like true hit scan doesn't really have a place outside of making a shooter want to feel more like arena shooters, like old boomer arena shooters.
Yeah.
or that use true hit scan rather than high velocity simulated projectiles, which I feel like should be the standard. That's part of why I rag on Source and Team Fortress 2. As much as I do love Team Fortress 2, that does use true hit scan, which is much to my disliking. I'm pretty sure, damn sure, if someone other than Valve were to make Team Fortress 2 today, it would also use simulated high velocity projectiles instead of hit scan bullets. I feel like hit scan is kind of something of the past now that we know how to do higher speed stuff.
Sure.
It should probably. I'm rambling on about random shit that I find interesting.
Although, if I understand correctly, even hit scan is still more, for lack of a better word, resource efficient.
It is. Don't get me wrong, it is. But most modern computers aren't toasters.
Well, fair, but. I may be stupid, but I did, you know, I may be stupid and a dropout, but I did go to school for two years for game design.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and certainly if you want to do, although now that I say that, I can't think of too many things you'd want to do within the shooter genre. I don't have too many ideas within the shooter genre that you'd really need that extra processing power.
Yeah. Speaking of game dev, you're making a tabletop, and there aren't as many things as a video game development. There's still so much lingo. Yeah.
Unless
game
you're
dev
like...
is
Sorry, go ahead.
complex as hell. Oh, sorry. Game dev is incredibly complex, and like the only reason I know as much as I do is one, I've played a metric fuck ton of video games and have made my own stuff outside of that, and I also did go to I did go to school for that. But like my personal takeaway is I felt like I wasn't going to school to learn game design. I already knew that. I was going to school for the mentorship aspect of it. Because I had some really fucking good game dev teachers. Some absolutely phenomenal professors. And I feel like that's more of the reason if you want to get into game design, you just don't want to school. And that's fair because you don't really need to. Because there's plenty of stuff online. There's forums dedicated to it. I was part of one for a while for an open source game called Gang Garrison 2. I was a member of the forums there for several years. That's kind of what got me into game design. I learned how to code GML by looking at Gang Garrison 2 and picking it apart.
What, you know, my school was unique in that we didn't offer, you know, it's rare to find, it's still kind of rare to find game design degrees.
Right.
Not that many schools offer them, but my school was unique in that we didn't teach game design, we taught interactive media and game design.
Yeah, that's what they called it too.
That's what you called it too, exactly. So for me, what I was going to school to learn programming because unfortunately I didn't really have access to coding lessons at my high school, and I didn't, I was kind of a social shut-in, so I didn't have those connections on the internet. But the biggest thing I got about it is like learn to make a board game.
Mm-hmm.
Like learn those play elements, learn what play is, literally having philosophical discussions in school about what is play and what is fun. Like actually trying to define those and trying to engineer fun. Making board games, playing D&D, talking, we talked about fucking American Idol in school. And like why it was popular. And I think that's definitely a good angle to go at game design as well. Not to discredit what you're saying, Lily, but...
Oh no, I agree.
You know, really, if you're interested in game design, look outside of just the genres that you like and why you like those genres, and really analyze like what makes play interesting for you.
And on that topic, that's kind of why I actually don't have a favorite genre of game. That's literally like a trick question for me. Like, ask me like, "Oh, what's your favorite game genre?" I was like, "What?" That's like asking me like, "What genre of art do I prefer?"
Right.
Like, as like, or like, what kind of like? Because like, there's so many vastly different ways to make and like develop games as there are to play them, and like different systems that you can use within those games and combine them. Shout out to Yoko Tara's Nier Automata, and even the earlier Nier games show like what Nier Automata was actually trying to accomplish.
Right.
There's literally shmup sections in the game.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
There's shmup
It's very intentionally genre-defying.
Mm-hmm. And that also proves that you don't need your game to be just one genre. And like my other advice, if you don't want to go to like game design school, is play games.
Yeah.
I know it's as corny as it sounds, but like more recently I've had like a massive like interest in more like narrative focused games because on my Wednesday streams with Safa, we she plays Disco Elysium and I provide colorful commentary, and honestly like I feel like that game is like a fucking masterpiece. Like
it is. I've seen very little of it so far.
We're talking like
I love what
I
they've
feel
accomplished.
like I feel like in years from now, this shit should like be on a computer in a museum somewhere because it is that good. It plays like you would play any regular tabletop campaign. There's in fact there's no combat or very very little of it. It's all dice roll, and yet so it's crafted in a way that you can have multiple different like diverging experiences based on your character's stats, and imagining like the effort that goes into writing something like that.
Oh my god,
is nothing short of like a monumental task. Like, because when you're playing the game, the game is doing skill checks, and if you fail the skill check, you get these like your skills basically talk to you. Kind of, sort of.
And I was going to say, the amount of writing and voice acting that had to go into that game to make it what it is.
I'm surprised, like, they actually went in and voice acted it, because the original version wasn't voice acted, I don't think. I can't even begin to imagine the amount it takes, and, like, for how many lines that game probably has. Like, you play through the game, and you probably haven't even seen half of it.
Yeah.
Because that's just your first playthrough, and it's strange because like replayability is something entirely foreign to narrative-based games for the most part, and yet Disco Elysium has this in this interesting like. Yes, it's all. You could argue that it's all RNG, but like, does that make it any less interesting? Like,
yeah,
I don't think it
absolutely.
Does. And in fact, I think it makes it more interesting on your second playthrough because you're passing and failing different skill checks. Assuming you don't go with the same build again.
You know, meanwhile, for me, I've talked before about emergent storytelling, and how nice it is to see emergent storytelling being built into narrative games now, and it not being such a separate, being separate genres. But pure emergent storytelling is just RNG too, and those are some of the most replayable games. Like, it's no surprise that I'm into emergent storytelling, and the games I play are, EU4, Crusader Kings.
Right. You're right, those are technically emergent storytelling.
Oh, absolutely. Not even technically, like, they throw you in a mostly historical setting, and then just use RNG and emergent storytelling to tell your story through your play actions. And that's something I'm absolutely in love with.
Like something like Disco Elysium would definitely be something you should probably play then. I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, I really do need to play it. Yeah, exactly. This proves my point. Like that's emergent. That's part of emergent storytelling. Like, I'm playing Stellaris right now. One of my robot workers just asked the Geth question. The fact that you're phrasing it that way, that's emergent storytelling. The story is being created by the random events that are pre-written in Stellaris. The game's a fantastic example.
Mm-hmm.
You could literally write a book about your one playthrough of Stellaris if you wanted to.
Even like
just
a playthrough, like you can do the same with D&D, and people fucking have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm back. We still on game design. We're kind of segued into more like emergent storytelling and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But still, by technicality, yes? Question mark.
I would say yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Storytelling, storytelling. D&D is emergent storytelling. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's also collaborative storytelling, which is also fascinating. And I want to see. I don't even know what this looks like yet, but I want to see collaborative storytelling more in video games. Like, holy shit, that's going to be revolutionary.
I think that actually already exists.
It does, kind of.
Have you... You've heard of EVE Online, right?
Of course. I played EVE Online for years.
Mm-hmm. And to even, like, lesser extent, if you've heard of the Minecraft server 2v2t, one of the worst places on the internet.
Yeah.
It has its own story to it. And I honestly watch the videos not because I care about the people in it, it's just because I find this kind of emergent behavior fascinating.
Oh, Knights of Pen and Paper? Like, yeah, that's true.
Like, you give people a blank slate and say, there are no rules, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And wild shit results from it. Like, I think at one point, like, a bunch of people from, a bunch of Japanese players infiltrated the server and made a giant picture of, Wisata Pekora on the minimap, on the map.
I love that.
Out of a massive amount of, obsidian. And they built it by hand.
Right.
Oh yeah, just stuff like that.
I guess I'm gonna go... Oh, I have my axe now. I'm gonna go back to the quarry.
If you want other examples of group emergent storytelling, look no further, like, Google the Falador Massacre from RuneScape.
Oh, right.
An event and a glitch so infamous, it actually ended up getting written into the game's lore. Miniature wargames are like skirmish where it's squad v squad, each person having a special unit with abilities, weapons, and gear. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
I can't think of any examples of that. Oh, in miniature war games, yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I feel like what I misread that as is a thing too.
I still don't have my watering can yet. Coffee, we'll be able to open all these geodes like in 2 days, I think.
Okay, cool.
Approx. Because what are you getting from the quarry, by the way? You need my help.
I'm just clearing it out. I need to grind up combat and mining. So I'm gonna be doing some cave runs, but I want to check the quarry first.
I think what skills do I have?
Because it was
that I would
pretty
need
cool.
to level.
Coffee should get a hat like the one in game. I want a hat like the one I have in game.
I have mining, fishing, combat, and farming at 10. I just need foraging and fishing. Foraging's at 5.
Oof. Foraging's hard to get. Can be hard to get. You have to. The biggest way you get it is cutting lots of trees. So I probably shouldn't have cut all these trees.
That's okay.
Wait, I already have the. No, I don't think I got the. I'm gonna try and get the golden scythe.
In these games, they have campaign systems, connected missions. characters leveling up, characters dying, all sorts of random stuff happening, because it's usually 1v1 PvP campaign. That honestly sounds like a lot like Arma, where people have like role playing where they like simulate operations and stuff like that. And there's even a mod for Arma that I want to try that is Halo themed. I really want to try that mod because it looks sick. Because you can be a Spartan, and it's like as much as I don't like military power fantasy, I still like the appeal of that within the Halo setting because Halo's cool. It's cool.
Or like, yeah, I'm thinking of wargaming. You know, makes me think of like a West Marches campaign. For anyone who doesn't know, West Marches is an idea for D&D and other role-playing games, where instead of being a single party doing a single campaign, there's like 30 of you. You're all part of an adventurers guild, and every week, whichever 4 or 5 of you show up that week, you go together and do something in the world, and your choices affect the next week's party and so on. So you get to exist within a living world. It's so cool. I was talking about this.
So dope. That sounds like a predecessor to like an MMO almost.
Yeah. And it might actually be inspired by MMOs. I think West Marches is a fairly new idea for role-playing, for tabletop role-playing. But I was talking about a West Marches campaign I was in where we were all just doing our thing, and a party left because they were following a rumor that there was a sun dragon in the east. And they were like, hell yeah, let's kill a dragon. And then the sun goes out.
Oh.
And the party comes back and they're like, yo, I think we killed the sun, my bad. It was really cool.
Amazing.
I love the idea of West Marches, and I'd love to see it. I don't know if you could do this in the scale of an MMO necessarily, but a game where like your quest like actually has, you know, like raids actually have effect on the greater world. I think there just might be too much content involved in making enough content for that big of a player base.
Destiny 2 kind of does this. With their world, how their world first works is they've done this since I believe they did this with Forsaken, and also to a lesser extent in Beyond Light. So they had the world first raid race, right, when they opened the raid, and the world first team is like goes on in canon to be the first Guardians that cleared this, and then the plot advances for everyone after the world first event happens.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. Also the world first team gets the champion spell, which is kind of dope. It's this big spectacle for the whole community to watch.
Yeah, that's very cool. Alright, my health is kind of low, so I'm gonna get out of here.
What idea might that be, Ren? No worries, no worries. But yeah, it's like stuff like that sounds really cool.
Yeah, oh my god. The West Marches game I was in was an absolute pain to organize because we were doing 2 or 3 quests a week. So there were like 5 DMs.
Oh wow. That's really hard to keep a consistent writing style, theme, and story.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really like a group of DMs at that point. That's a group of game developers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know. I wasn't one of the DMs. I don't know how much work went into like keeping things consistent and how much work they did.
But lot.
I think it was a lot because eventually
they probably have a circulated like there's probably like a tone guide or like a what's it called, like, you know how they have the Doom Bible,
a story Bible, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I know eventually the reason the group disbanded was because a couple of DMs had to drop out, and it was just like too much work for the remaining ones. Like, so they needed like all 5 or 6 of them just to keep
Bummer.
keep everything going.
Yeah, it's hard to like with something of that scale to keep everything like going. I assumably like, and it only again a scaling problem.
Hi, Will. Like. Welcome. I hope work wasn't too bad.
And my watering can's ready, which means all my tools are now iridium.
But that was, you know, again, D&D is the original emergent storytelling, because, like...
Right.
There's so much more flexibility in the DM's ability to improv.
Right.
My favorite tabletop RPG character ever was in that West Marches campaign. She was a monk who was raised in a monastery and, like, told stories since she was a kid about how they found her as an orphan on the night of a meteor crashed into the countryside, and they were like, oh, you're a gift from the gods, and she doesn't know if that's true, but she's believed it all her life, so she thinks she's this destined hero who's gonna go off to save the world. So she leaves the monastery to go off and save the world, and she ends up just, like, fucking around in this, adventurers guild, trying to make a name for herself, and dies to a beholder because she's trying to save the party wizard.
Interesting.
You know, her story could not have ended better, in my opinion. Like, her dying when she did, and her deciding to go back into that fight because the wizard was bleeding out instead of leaving him there was absolutely perfect for her backstory.
I was thinking, who was? Oh, I was talking with Snowfield about tabletop campaigns, and there's like a bunch of interesting ones. And I think this came up. Did you know that Dragon Quest is actually inspired by D&D?
Oh, really?
Yes.
That makes sense.
Leads to this interesting thing where we have like this cultural cross-pollination because you have all these then Western RPGs that were inspired by Dragon Quest.
Right. Well, I know,
So
I do know that Final Fantasy was inspired by D&D.
Yes.
It makes sense that Dragon Quest was, but that's really interesting, yeah.
Let's process some of these gears. What we got? Oh, mimic mango tree. Mango tree. Can we plant those on the farm, or...?
Mango tree I think we have to plant on the island farm.
Okay. Basically, in skirmish games, there's a set beginning and end with... Gonna change that somehow, but, like... They don't have role-playing elements. You have to change that?
Yeah.
I'll go. Alright, I'm gonna probably work on my fishing from now on. Because that's my lowest skill.
I think it would be interesting to take sort of a, Oh, what's that game called? AI Dungeon? Sort of, machine learning algorithm and get to the point with AI where we can craft sort of an AI game master.
Interesting.
For emergent cooperative storytelling. So, like a small group of people, a multiplayer group can like. Oh, hold on, 1 second. Sorry about that, people came home.
No worries, no worries.
But yeah, doing like an AI dungeon, multiplayer, just getting like a little bit better, a little bit better AI and like really tying that more to the world and having more mechanics around it than just being a MUD. I think we could see some really interesting stuff with that. I mean, AI Dungeon is not a MUD, but then just making it into a MUD is what I mean.
You know, RuneScape actually did start as a MUD.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. It started as a game called Devious Mud, developed by a British person by the name of I can't remember his first name, but I know he and his brothers McGowers developed it in their spare time, and that eventually went on to become RuneScape.
Oh, cool.
And in fact, the first quest that he made for Devious Mud, Sheep Shearer, is still playable in RuneScape today, and it's the oldest quest in the game.
That's really cool.
And like, even the map for Devious Mud parallels a lot of what's in modern day RuneScape.
I love the history of that, you know. Alright.
Right now you can have some unique mechanical stuff. The games all function the same. Or characters' personality abilities and such, depending on what happens, and they can gain more of those abilities, or have them changed. Interesting. That sounds interesting. So basically what you want is like kind of a unit-based system, but where each character has their own in-depth personality.
Yeah, that sounds fascinating. I don't even know if you have to necessarily do each character, but you can even do a sort of Warcraft, you know, Warhammer, or Warcraft for that matter, style hero system with that. You know, and you still have your basic grunts, but having heroes with personality and storylines and emergent storylines, I think would be really interesting.
Okay, I cracked most of the geodes, and then my inventory ran out of space.
Oh, okay.
You want to, when you get a chance, you want to plant these on the island?
Sure.
Oh, there's 2.
Oh, okay. I'll, if it's not too late, I'll head to the island now. I just have to plant, this hardwood. Like, if you think in Apex, Bangalore, yeah.
Oh yeah, Bangarang. I love Bangarang.
Bangarang.
I unironically call her Bangarang when my friends play Apex, and it makes them really mad. I'm like, yeah, there's a Bangarang over there.
I love that, honestly. I think I'm gonna be late.
Oh, I got a wonder.
Made a hard choice. Do I build a world cracker or save those alloys for more mega structures? World cracker for sure. Crush your enemies and see them driven before you. Hello, crab friend.
Remember that being kind of a thing in the old Spore game? And if you used it, it would fucking piss people off, except the Grox, which would make them grow in reputation with you. I find kind of humorous.
Yeah, that's great. Or I could build 2 titans. Ooh.
Play more Apex. Apex is fun.
Apex is fun. I wish.
But I don't like playing it solo.
I wish I was better at shooters.
I'm only like as decent as I am just because I've been playing them since middle school, basically.
I used to be much better, but the games I was better at were controller shooters against other console players. And, like, my eyesight's never been good, and I've always been limited by eyesight.
Oh, play MCC then, because literally not playing on a controller puts you at a disadvantage.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of bullshit. how much
No
aim
wonder
assist you get on MCC on controller.
No wonder I've had trouble, because
been...
I've been trying to play with mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, no. Like, I can play decently well with MNK, but if I'm against a controller person, it's kind of horseshit.
Interesting.
Even, like, Destiny 2 had a problem, like, this huge thing where, instead of, like, bringing controller up to, like, with, to give it aim assist to make it comparable to MNK, they instead, like, made MNK significantly the worst to play on. Like, it wasn't as bad as everyone was making it out to be, but there was a big kerfuffle about that one around the time that was happening. I think it was...
Interesting.
Before Season of the Chosen, or maybe it was before Season of the Hunt. No, it was Season of the Chosen where they made that change. Do we need a halibut for anything?
Hold on to it. We might need it for a quest or something. It sounds familiar.
Okay.
That sounds familiar.
What was the fish we needed for the Jojo Mart bundle? Oh, I hit the wrong button to try to reel in my fish. I'm dumb.
Void salmon.
Void salmon?
And I don't actually know where to get those.
Fishing in the void, obviously.
I mean, yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember what the void means in the context of this game.
Maybe it's over by the witch's house? I don't know. Fish a little bit more, then I'll head to bed. I just got the ability to get unregistered hyperkin. Yes, I love that redeem. It's one of my favorites.
It's a good one, yeah.
Because I'm a boomer enough to get the reference. Alright, I'll put this gold star halibut in here and I'll sell the rest. For those of you that are young and don't know what Hypercam is, Hypercam was what we used to record our screens back in the day, and it was used for a bunch of RuneScape frag montages. RuneScape frag videos. And so, and often in old RuneScape footage, you'd see the unregistered Hypercam 2 mark in the top left of the screen. And so I have that as a redeem on my channel because it's funny. And because I'm a fucking I'm an incorrigible
You're a fucking nerd. Yeah.
Shut up.
You love me.
Yeah. Kinda gay though.
Yeah, it's pretty gay.
Not as gay as the girl reading this.
Joke's on you, I can't read.
So true! I don't think any of the girls in my chat can read.
True.
But I love illiterate women. Jokes on them. Okay, well, I'm gonna go see if I can actually fish by the witch's house, because if I can, there's probably something interesting there.
Valid. Wait, is this?
You brought up to be a boomer enough to get that reference, even though you're still a zoomer. See, I feel that way too, because I know a lot of, like, culture references from when my parents were young.
Yo,
like,
same.
Like Saturday Night Live skits and stuff like that. And I also listen to a lot of the same music as well. A lot of old, like, rock from the 80s. Some of them, to some extent, the 90s. Is there a special device you need to fish in lava in this game, like you do in Terraria? No. Okay.
No, you can.
Oh, you know what? The void carp
in
might be in lava.
Could be.
I'd honestly expect it to be near the witch's house.
Unregistered Hypercam 2 opens plain text file. Hello YouTube, today I will show you how to get infinite coins on Club Penguin.
No, there's
good.
definitely water over here by the witch's house. I'm gonna see if I can fish here.
Oh, cool.
I remember water out here.
Yeah, 6 days to kill 50 skeletons. I do want to work on my combat. I'll take it.
Coffee, you have higher fishing. You have level 10 fishing, don't you?
Yeah.
You might want to be the one that comes out here to do this.
Okay. I'm just heading back to the
fish are all
farm to
bastards.
check on our production.
Oh, I almost had it like several times over. Alright, I'm gonna keep fishing in the ocean.
Okay.
So, Dark Shrine of Memory, the statue stairs through you. Dark Shrine of Self, the statue stairs through you. I think these statues, I want to know how to unlock them.
I don't remember.
Change our dog.
Yo. I just picked a random dog because I did.
Original sin and all that. Oh. He harassed a lot of women, and I don't think that's a good thing.
Lily got a magical makeover.
Oh, I just made myself more pale. I guess I'll fish here. Wait. This game has broken CDs in it. Then again, like, I bet there's kids out there that don't know what CDs are.
Oh my god, that... Ugh,
The thought of that terrifies me.
Yeah.
It scares me so much. There's kids out there that don't know what floppies or zip drives are. That also scares me too.
Yeah. I saw a YouTube video where the person running it felt the need to explain to their viewers what a vinyl disc was. And I'm like, are we really at that point?
Actually... Okay, though I feel vinyl discs are actually back in vogue now, mainly because it's an analog.
Yeah, totally.
Because you can still find vinyls of modern stuff today. Like,
yeah.
I know the Celeste soundtrack got a limited vinyl release. Honestly, I kind of want a record player. That'd be kind of dope.
World crackers take just as long to build as megastructure modules. They're not technically all my... Oh, that sucks. Keep letting the animals out.
Fish are all bastards.
True.
Let's see if Willie has a better fishing rod. I'm
Iridium
gonna go see
should
if
be the
Willie has a better
best.
fishing rod. I don't know if he sells that yet, though. I
Oh,
think he sells them based on your fishing skill.
right. Yeah, vinyls
Yeah,
are more
vinyl
thing
are
than
more-
DVDs. Uh-huh.
Anyone else remember, what's it called? Before Blu-rays, HD DVDs?
Oh, of course.
That was the competing standard that Blu-ray ended up killing. I'm sure Sony made a killing off of that, too.
Oh my god, absolutely.
Probably what contributed to it, so fun fact, the Xbox 360's HD DVD format discs.
Mm-hmm.
And the competing PS3 used Blu-rays. Bamboo pole, training rod, fiberglass pole. I don't have anything past the fiberglass pole yet.
Ah, damn. There might be a iridium rod. Just like in one of our chests somewhere.
If it was there, I didn't find it.
Alright.
360. I thought 360 used normal DVDs. Or maybe it was the Xbox One that used HD. I don't remember. I thought
the 360 used HD DVDs too.
There was a separate. Oh, there's a separate HD DVD drive for it. That's why I remember.
That's
HD
right.
DVDs on the Xbox. That's right. Okay, I knew I wasn't crazy. You've held it. Wow. I wish that was me. Also, hi again, Hiromi. I love you.
Hold the fuck up. It's me. I'm the fuck up. Oh, man. Oops. Oh, not all the animals are back.
Team and HDB still got minor anger anytime I came across. You're on Team HD DVD. Yeah. I am indifferent, I guess. Though one of the weird things is, so I got the what's it called? The FF14 Before the Fall physical disc, and it's on a Blu-ray disc for some reason. And how you actually get the music off of it is super freaking weird because it sets up a server on your home network.
Oh.
Using your DVD player.
Weird.
Which you can then connect to download the files. It's bizarre and also probably a security vulnerability. But it's interesting.
I'm totally one of those, like, tin hat people when it comes to the Internet of Things. Like...
Oh, no, I am too. And, like, especially more so, because one of my roommates used to be a pen tester.
Mm-hmm.
And she was one of, like, one of the most fascinating people I've ever talked to. Because she always had these wild stories about shit she'd done. Like the one time she got on a Twitter thread with John McAfee.
Oh, I love it.
I don't even remember the whole story for that, but it was wild. For those of you that don't know who John McAfee is, he made the McAfee security system, a brand which has tried to distance itself from him, because he's a
weird
bit
dude.
mad.
Well, he passed away recently.
Oh, did he really?
It's just a couple days ago.
No way. Real shit?
In prison, and people are already getting tinfoil hat about it.
Oh, they think it's another Epstein kind of deal.
Yeah. Well, apparently he tweeted something about, like, I'm going to prison if I end up... I'm very happy if I end up dead. They did me like Epstein. And nobody knows if if it was a meme or what. Because, like, not gonna lie, he's the kind of guy to, like, do that for a meme.
Okay, but he's also very in the hacker scene, too, so...
True. But like, yeah,
and infosec people that don't really like the U.S. doesn't really like don't tend to end up getting treated too well.
True.
I mean, look at Snowden.
Right. Well, right.
Or
What
Chelsea
I'm
Manning,
saying
for that matter.
is I don't have, yeah.
Dang.
It's pretty weird. Mike Gravel, where do I know that name? Died today at 91. Who is Mike Gravel
I don't
again?
know.
Remind me. I'm bad with
Yeah.
names.
He was getting extradited to the US, so I don't know why bother killing him before you get him. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all sorts of tinfoil hat shit going on in the InfoSec community, so it's a regular day.
Yeah.
There's probably a counter out there that someone has, like, 0 days since wild shit last happened, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you don't know if you could say the same about McAfee.
Yeah, exactly, Violet.
Oh, it's getting late. Shush. So all these fish. Fish.
Oh, that reminds me. Hey Lily.
Yeah.
What do you call a blind deer?
I already know the answer to that.
Aw. Boo. Most left-wing senator in recent times. Oh, okay. Oh, what a shame. All right. Well, for chat, you call a blind deer. Well.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, see, the thing about blind deer is I have no idea.
Right. LGR did make a video on McAfee.
Mm.
This dude was quite off his rocker.
Yeah.
And is a weirdly fascinating person.
Absolutely.
Like many people from the internet are.
Yeah. Like, McAfee was eccentric, not in the, like, I'm rich and an asshole kind of way, like, actually just a total weirdo.
He ended up fleeing to, like, South America for some shit.
Yeah. Oh, luau tomorrow. Oh, shit, we don't have food.
Oh, fuck, I had purple star fish that I didn't bring.
I have iridium. I sold iridium wine.
Do we not have any more? I mean, we might have
I'll
iridium
check
cheese.
Oh, probably.
I'm gonna pick up the crab pot, put that back. No, put crab pot
Welcome back, Allie.
Hey, Allie, you're gay.
Different Allie. I think this Allie's gay too, though.
Oh. Sorry, I heard Allie and I said gay.
Yeah,
my,
understandable.
My wife Allie is gay.
I was talking to your wife Allie yesterday, and this Allie was like, "What? Why are you calling me gay?"
Amazing. Let me look through. Let me check our cheese.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure
McAfee hated his own company after he left, murdered his neighbor, and got caught dodging taxes. Yep.
Wait, I didn't hear about the murdered his neighbor part.
I don't remember the story, but I've heard this before.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but what the fuck? Yeah, coffee. We have. I have some Iridium Star cheese that I can get.
Oh,
there.
cool. I think it needs to be goat cheese, but it could be any cheese.
Oh, if it's goat cheese, I have 3 Iridium Star goat cheese. I'll just give you that instead.
Fantastic. The one that sticks out in my memory is, like, McAfee participated in, like, a whale fucking contest every few years.
What?
And, like, when people were like, that's not consensual, like, you can't do that, he was like, whales are fucking huge. If it's letting me fuck it and not killing me, it's consensual. Like...
Bruh.
Like,
I
he's
need
a
a
weird
soundboard
dude.
just so I can have that fucking simple flip.
Oh my god, yeah.
Sound
Bruh.
clip. Bruh. I actually do a really good simple flips impression, though. It's kind of wild.
It's good, yeah.
Bruh. Probably one of my favorite fucking sound bites on the internet is right there. Also, Coffee, where the fuck did you go? I was giving you cheese.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Here. Oh yeah, did you put the ostrich egg in the incubator?
Oh, we have the incubator?
The ostrich incubator. It's in here, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't know we had it yet.
Wait, we had to unlock it? How do we unlock it then?
I don't know. This is modded. I'm sorry, this is not modded. This is base game. You do kiss girls a lot. That's pretty gay.
So we're on assembling the worst New Vegas mod pack. Does it replace any of the enemies with Thomas the Tank Engine? Otherwise, it's shit out of 10. That's still my favorite Skyrim mod to this day, is the one that replaces the dragons with Thomas the Tank Engine.
Hell yeah.
It's such a good mod. You can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah, we're playing
today or
tomorrow.
Okay. Actually, the luau was yesterday.
Oh fuck.
Wait, can I fish?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how you get the fish back out of there. Okay, I see. You use a fishing rod to get the fish out of the fishing pond.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Not hold.
Yeah, no, we don't have the incubator yet. I think we need to sell some of our animals to make room for ostriches too.
I agree. We could probably get rid of like I mean, I like having a lot of cows though. Is the thing. Because like the more milk production we have, can we get a second barn?
We could totally get a second barn, and we could maybe get rid of one of our pigs. We don't need that much truffle production. Not julep though. Obviously, we have to keep julep.
I think we should just get a second one and just fill it with cows and maybe 1 or 2 ostriches.
Okay, sounds good to me.
What the fuck? The ship. What the fuck? The fish is fast as fuck. You see that? Chat, you see that? He was zooming.
When he lived in Belize, his dog died, and it's believed his dog was killed by his neighbor. Then his neighbor dies mysteriously via gunfire, so it's thought McAfee killed him, and he ran to Guatemala to avoid the authorities.
The fuck?
Yeah, that's what it was.
So fucked, dude. Wait, I remember this now. That's so fucked.
I guess I can upgrade my watering can.
Upgrade this. Pants grab.
Pants grab. I love pants grab. It's such a good meme. Also, I was right, by the way. My housemates did complain about the kitchen not being 100% clean, but, like, I had a stream to do.
There's content, hashtag content that needs to be made.
There's content that needs to be made. Also, they left the kitchen a mess when they left, and they just expected me to clean it this weekend.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it's not like they left a clean kitchen and came back to a mess. This is normal, though. Like... So, like, in their defense, because of, let's say, extraneous life circumstances, I am fortunate enough to be able to live here rent-free. I just help with food, but still. You know, so I'm expected to pull my weight a little more than I would otherwise if I was paying rent, but still. The funniest thing is one of my housemates, when I came back from visiting Akorza, was like, hey, I have a full-time job now, so you need to, I need your help cleaning the kitchen. And I'm like, I want to be like, my dude, you didn't clean the kitchen when you were home all day.
Need help with those trees.
Also, I have a... Oh, right, I should let you do the trees. I'm sorry. Because you need to get foraging up.
Yeah,
Also,
this
like,
one right here?
Any of the fully grown trees on the farm, except for the fruit trees and the trees with tappers on them, you can cut.
Okay.
Just let the saplings spread, and replant the maple and the mahogany seeds, so that we get hardwood.
Ready.
I mean, food's expensive. Let's be real. Yeah, true. And also, like, I'm pretty fortunate with food because, well, partially because I got screwed over by food stamps a few months ago. But they paid me back eventually, so I have, like, a ludicrous amount of money in food stamps right now. So I'm just, like, literally buying, you know, unless they go out on their own without telling me, which they've done before, I'm literally buying all the food for the house.
Oh, you can't cut those down, okay. Alright, I'm gonna go to the secret forest.
Oh, okay. Finally got noms and no migraines. I'm moved to lurk a little. Okay, thanks for lurking. So one thing I'm curious about is if... What do you mean inventory full? Weird. Is if we need to bait the traps. It doesn't seem like it. Well, it let me bait those, so I don't know. I never understood how that perk works with multiplayer. I have a perk so that we shouldn't need to put bait in the crab traps anymore.
Hmm?
But I don't know if it's like only when I take fish out of the crab traps or how that's...
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Oh, I found a star drop.
Where'd you find that? Oh, the statue in the Hidden Woods?
Yeah.
Did you give him a fruit?
No. He just gave it to me.
I think someone already gave him the fruit, so I guess you only have to do it once. Ah, shit. I need to repair the fence. You don't have the prismatic shard sword, right?
I do.
You do. What were you using before that?
A lava katana, but I think I gave that to Akorza.
Ah, damn.
Why?
Because I was gonna take your lava katana. I might just buy one, though.
There should be a couple of dwarven swords in there.
Oh, okay. Cool. Let me look. I haven't checked which chest. This chest is where I saw swords. Chest? Dwarf sword, yep.
Cool. Yeah, there should be a bunch in there. Because I keep finding them.
75. Yeah, no, that's way better.
Yeah, no, they're like a tier below.
And +2 speed.
Yeah, they're like, that's the one I enchanted. They're a tier below the sword I have, basically.
Oh, okay. Cool. War between two AI empires finally ends after a whole century of stalemate. Then one of the empire AI revolts and is now in civil war. Nice. The Phoenix ring sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, I think either I have one or I put something else. Oh, I have a protection ring, which gives me longer iframes. I value more because I shouldn't be dying in the first place.
Yeah.
But if you're a scrub, sure, feel free to use that.
I am a scrub.
So true!
So true.
Ooh, I have an iridium red mullet. I'm just gonna sell it, though, because we already have the cheese.
Yeah. Why do we have so many bamboo poles?
Because those are from the people who played this game and then stopped.
I know. It's really funny that we have, like, 6 of them, though.
So sad. Alexa played Esposito.
Rip to them. Rip to them,
Rip to them, but I'm different. Same fucking brain cell.
The gay VTuber brain cell.
Mood.
How long have I been streaming today? I mean, I started late. Oh, it's only been 5 hours. That's not so bad. I'm kind of glad I slept in, honestly. Don't forget to sleep, unless you're on the island.
I almost did. Thank you for the hydrate, Violet.
Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Violet.
Honestly, it's not quite as hot in here as I thought it would be.
Good.
But that's probably because I have like a giant box fan on me.
Yeah. We're like mostly out of the range of the heat wave down here. But it still just normally gets really hot where I am.
Mm-mm.
Do, 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 do. I'm not gonna take the diamonds just so they sync up with each other. We're gonna lose a little bit of money, but it bothers me.
Give me fucking soggy newspapers. This sucks.
Oh yeah, Rassie, are you still here? Let me know if you're still here in chat.
Oh, double fish. Let's go, gamer.
Nice.
Thank you. Pog. Can I get some poggers in chat? Lily Pog. Any kind of pogs? Some froggers. Some boggers. I still need to make the boggers, you know.
Boggers is good.
The reason I keep making that joke is because the frickin' Destiny 2 official Twitter account tweeted out boggers the day Vault launch dropped.
That's right.
And I thought that was the funniest shit ever. It was like probably one of the best PR stunts done by Bungie's PR staff.
I like it. Speaking of like PR stunts, I love the side-by-side someone made of like the Final Fantasy XIV Facebook versus their Twitter.
Oh really?
With was like with the Bunny Boys being announced, and like one of them was like this long like typical PR sort of thing, like this exciting new class, blah 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 blah, and then Twitter was just Bunny.
The English FF14 Twitter account, they know their audience, and
Yeah.
that audience is a bunch of fucking shit posters and meme lords.
Yeah. Bunny. Yeah, exactly, Violet. Alright, I'll head to the luau in a second. I just need to put some stuff in chests.
Honestly, I'm surprised that it hasn't gotten my boyfriend interested in playing FF14, though I did tell him when they got it down.
Nice.
Because I knew he'd be interested. I'm waiting for you, gamers.
Sorry. I'll be there in a second. I could probably do this at night, but I just need to put some stuff away. I'll put the stuff away at night. I remember when the I don't play Final Fantasy XIV, but I know and follow a lot of people who do. And when the announcement happened, I just remember a certain person that we both know saying something along the lines of like they remembered they were bisexual. Actually.
I just kind of sighed because I didn't want it to happen because I thought it was funnier if it didn't.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Femme Rockguard 2 years from now. This is great.
Am I gonna do this just to finish a quest?
Do what?
Oh, I can't open my quest log. Give Kent a starfruit. Pay to buy a starfruit for Kent.
We do need starfruit for automation though, so buy some.
Oh, I have a bunch growing.
Okay.
I would just finish the quest like a few days early, which doesn't really matter, so I'm not gonna buy it.
Because we do have the thing for automation now.
Oh, right.
I need to remember where that was, though. Where was that?
Wizard?
Wizard, yes, the wizard. Frontier. No, jungle details.
Talk to Pierre. I like aged whiskey. Maybe you should get on my good side, Pierre. Shaking my head.
And we have the Adventurers Guild man over here being an edgelord.
Yeah. I think I did talk to him. Okay. Cool. I got everybody.
I think I got everybody too.
Okay.
You can talk to do you talk to everybody once or twice?
Some of them twice.
I should have everyone.
Okay, I'm gonna start then. The bonus you get from talking to people is so minor, it's not a big deal if you only talk to somebody once.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I remember like the last time we didn't have everyone put something in.
Yeah. We should get the Max relationship from this, though, since we both did. Yep.
And I got the popular achievement.
You just got, like, a huge boost, relationship boost with everybody. Yep, best soup I ever tasted. Cool.
Hoggers, loggers, loggers. That's right, we also have loggers as an emote on my channel.
Loggers,
Through Better
loggers is
TPV.
good.
Logger, I almost forgot about loggers. That's such a good emote. Thank you. Thank Irie for that. Irie's community came up with it.
Love that.
Same.
I don't think you know Tina, but there's a streamer friend of mine who I've known from another streamers community for a while. Tiny Brain plays.
No, I've heard of them.
She has the best emote ever, which is Froggers, because she's a frog VTuber.
Oh my god.
And
Froggers?
it's so cute. I don't know if I have a
That's
sub to her
amazing.
right now. No, I don't have a sub to her right now, or I'd post it in your chat. Oops. But it's just like a frog doing a pog face and sticking its tongue out. It's so cute.
That's great.
It's genuinely one of my favorite emotes. She was my first mod, though, because it was kind of a mod of desperation, because I got bots and I didn't know how to handle them on a test stream.
Mm.
But she was just like, yeah, I'll mod for you, and it's like, okay, I'm trusting you. What could possibly go wrong? And I haven't regretted it yet. Even if
My
she's
mods,
not always
I have,
in my stream.
I have my boyfriend who offered,
Mhm.
because he always lurks on my streams no matter what. Love him. Sweetheart.
Good boy.
Sage, I modded because Sage is my sister.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure Sage
Irene
didn't get a
Elko
choice.
Irie and Elko were mods for a time. And then Death auditioned for mods. So did Alma, actually. And then Violet, I kind of just took hostage because it was a time when Death was busy doing midterm,
Right.
and I needed a spare mod.
I have so
And I'm
many
just like,
mods.
hey, I just took hostage. Look, you were like at every single one of my streams, like, hey, since you're already here, do you just want a mod? And they're like, sure. I know my mods are great. You're literally going to apply when they did the first time, but your net was that's right. Right, that's right.
So most of my mods were like
Hi, Hiromi.
friends and other streamers who I just kind of modded right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Or out of necessity, like Tina. But then I made Nissa a mod because she was in because I know her outside of streaming and she was in every stream, so it just made sense because a lot of my other mods couldn't make it to every stream. But then her internet died and it was like, shit, I need to do applications for mods. So I put out applications and I was like, okay, thanks, Pierre. Oh, I'm getting so many recipes. Fuck. So I got 5 applications for mods, and I was like, I don't want to. I like all of these people for different reasons, so I just made all of them mods.
Also, I know you lurk on my streams a lot too, Hiromi. I love you. Hiromi's a sweetheart. I have known them for a long ass time, actually.
Aw.
And they're a sweetie. I like how we just have a void chicken named Hellfucker, because you, for some reason, was like, yes, I will trust Lily's judgment on naming things.
I didn't know what to
No one
name
else ever does. Okay, actually, no. The only other person that does is my wife, but she's a gremlin, so that doesn't count.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyone who trusts my judgment when naming things is just enabling me.
Yeah, that's true.
And I highly suggest that you don't.
I shouldn't have, but... What's worse than Hellfucker is our dog named Beelzebub and spelled wrong.
That wasn't. I think Bree spelled it wrong, and I can't.
Oh,
change
was it
It
Bree?
bothers
I
me.
don't know if it was you or Bree, or if it was me or Bree.
No. I came up with a name because Bree asked me for the name, and I said Beelzebub.
Yeah.
And Bree spelled it wrong.
Oh, okay. I thought for some reason I just assumed it was me who spelled it wrong.
It was
Since I'm
either you or
host.
Bree.
Yeah. Hey, Gustav. I haven't been ignoring you.
Walked into hell, fucker.
I'm not ignoring you. I've just been streaming all day, and I haven't been caught up. I haven't responded to all my DMs. I walked into hellfucker.
Remember when this Cloud had Brave Pepperidge Farm members? Yeah. Rip in peace. I can't believe Bree's dead.
Can't believe Bree's fucking dead.
Rip in piss. As the kids say.
Didn't think you. Okay, good. I just wanted to check in. It's good to see you.
But yes, Hellfucker is like, it's the name I default to when I can't think of a name for something. The amount of characters in Terraria I have named Hellfucker. Or like, whenever I have a Minecraft or Terraria world, I name it some variation of Hellfuck Castle. Because I am very original with my name. And which is why I got worried about, like, Lily tries not the very, very early people who were very early members of my stream remember the Lily tries not to curse art.
Yes.
And that abruptly ended as soon as I started streaming Bayonetta because I had to put it on the mature content filter, and I just said, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. I feel like the only person that swears more often than I do is probably Bree.
Yeah, I don't actually swear that much, considering. I don't know what it's considering, but like I feel like I swear more than I actually do. I just really like the word fuck. But I just don't use it all that often.
I mean, I curse like a sailor. And a lot of that is because I used to play a lot of Halo 3 on Xbox Live in middle school.
Understandable.
And my parents tried to get me to stop cursing, and I never really did.
Oh, I mean, same. Like, I think the only reason I don't curse more on stream is I tend to use my academic dialect on stream for some reason. Like, when I'm talking to people who don't have my accent, I use my academic dialect, and when I'm streaming, I use my academic dialect because it's a little easier to understand. I don't even know if you've heard, like, my accent that much, Lily, because, like, it doesn't come out with people that often.
Where you have one?
I have a little bit of one. And it's fucking, like I'm trying to force it right now, but, like, I do swear more when I'm speaking with my accent a little more, but it's hard to force.
So, I actually occasionally have the Hispanic accent, and it can sometimes come out.
That's really funny. I have an occasional Texan accent, which you might have heard before, and I
think I may have heard it once.
I have no reason to have that accent. It's so weird. So like,
I'm sorry, you were saying?
No, I'm trying to, like, get into the headspace to force my accent, and I've done this on stream before and failed. Like, I have a Texan accent that comes out when I talk to Southerners, and it snuck out for a little tiny bit just there when I said Southerners.
I heard that.
Yeah. And I have a local accent to the city I grew up in that sneaks out when I talk to people from around that city. And it's not like a distinct I didn't grow up in Boston or something, like, you know, like some people. I don't know why I'm calling her out.
May?
She's a sweetie.
Was it May?
It was May.
Yeah, I knew it was May.
It's not real thick like that. It's not really distinct. Like, you wouldn't know what city I grew up in just from hearing my accent. So it's not like I hide it or anything.
For me, my accent is actually, it's Hispanic. because I have Hispanic. I'm Hispanic on both sides of my family. My mom's and my dad's side. And I don't know why, but when I traveled to Japan, it slipped out a lot. I was talking to one of my friends who was a local. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because Japanese or like a similar accent or similar vowel structure in the language. Because I do know that people who speak Japanese have noted that it's easier to learn how to speak Spanish. And
Dog.
you just heard my accent slip out there, didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
And it doesn't happen all that much, but it happens. Like, it hasn't happened on stream, like where I will go full force into my accent, and I am trying my damnedest to slip into my accent right now, and it's not really working because it's not something I think about.
Yeah, there it goes a little bit. I really have trouble talking to my regular accent. Like it's just kind of less enunciation and stuff, and I'm slipping into my Texan a little bit there, just trying to not enunciate as much. But
last piece of bait. But yeah, like it's interesting because like my grandma has the same thing. And the way I pronounce grandma, you can also probably hear it a little bit there.
Yeah.
Anyway, my grandma will be on the phone with you can tell it's one of her sisters because she's like, oh, you don't say.
Yeah.
like exactly like that.
My best friend's mom, who's a oh no, I'm not even like being me. This isn't I'm not forcing anything. Like, this isn't a fake accent that I put on. This is genuinely how I talk most of the time. Like, I talk to my mother this way. Like 100%. So like it's not that big of a deal, and especially with quarantine, I haven't been like talking to people from around here very much who have my accent, because it's not even like a city accent. It's really like a lower class from this city accent. That I've picked up, you know, from living around here.
So a fun thing is I've actually known Ember for so long that her talking to me has actually changed her accent.
Oh, that's so funny.
Like,
oh, I do.
One of her favorite things to do though when she lived in the UK was ask people to place her accent, and everyone always like somewhere north, like they thought she was like from like Scotland or something. And that like they it was always someplace in England, but they never got it right, which was she's she's half Finnish, half Swedish. So she has the most adorable accent. I love it. It's so cute.
That sounds so really cute.
I love her accent. She's adorable.
But
yeah, no, her talking, like her mainly talking to me and like a bunch of our friends has like made her accent like this weird mishmash of stuff. And even my accent wasn't safe for the 2 years I lived in the UK. Because there's been a slight bit of change there.
Right. Oh yeah, no, you definitely have a little bit of you do have a little bit of British even in your accent. Like, not just your word choice, it comes out in your accent a little bit too. You have sort of a transatlantic thing going on. Which is newer since you lived in the UK. The one accent I think I can force is, I always feel bad about doing, because I don't want it to feel like I'm making fun of people, because it is kind of like a... Because, like, I do pick up accents, and, like, I tried to, my best friend is...
kind of accent, I guess?
Yeah,
like a cartoon accent?
My best friend is a Filipino immigrant, and, like, when I talk to his mother, who still has a really thick accent, like, you'd never know he wasn't born in the US if you talk to him. But when I talk to his mother, like, I get a little bit of, I pick up a little bit of her accent, and like when I say words in Tagalog, it comes out a little bit, and I don't want it to sound like
Tagalog. That's
I don't.
Actually kind of cool.
I know very little Tagalog, but I've tried to learn, and I have trouble wrapping my mouth around a lot of sounds in the language. I'm still trying to learn. But like when I'm
Oh.
talking to Carmi, I come out with a little bit of an accent for some reason. I feel like I'm making fun of her,
I
but
heard
like,
it. I heard it right
yeah.
there. I heard it right there.
And like it's not me making, it's just me picking up her accent and like trying to say words in Tagalog correctly. You know, like I don't say Carmi, I say Carmi. Because that's her name, and it's like it's more correct to pronounce it that way, but that's just how my brain works. And
No, I feel you. Like, I actually have pretty good Japanese pronunciation.
me too. Yeah, I try to.
And actually, a lot of the reason I have good Japanese pronunciation is because of the ru. The ru sound is, it's kind of like a combination of an L and an R at the same time.
Right.
And one of the reasons I can do that is because I can roll my R's.
See, I can't.
It's a hereditary thing.
I can't roll my R's at all, but I think I can do a pretty good Ru.
I don't know if it's a hereditary thing or it's because I've taken 7.5 years of Spanish over my lifetime, but I can. I used to make fun of Ember for it because she couldn't roll her R's.
Aw.
You like the sound of the R rolling? Yeah, no, I'm very, very good at rolling my R.
Amazing.
That almost sounded vaguely Russian.
See, I took Spanish for years too, but I still cannot roll my R's.
But yeah, no, that's one of the things I am very, very good at. I am very, very good at rolling my R's. It might just be because I learned it at such a young age, or if it's something, it might be hereditary. I have no freaking clue, because it's something I've always just been able to do. And I find it amusing when people can't.
Yeah, fair. I understand, like...
Another one of my favorite things for people to do is, I'll go to Google Maps and I'll pull up some names of places, and I'll ask people to pronounce them. In fact,
yes.
Coffee, I will have you do this after stream.
Awesome.
There are a couple in particular that I really, really like to use.
I think I'm better at pronunciation than most Americans, but that's not saying much.
Oh no, like some of the places around in my area of the Netherworld, have very, very interesting pronunciations.
Akorza's area too. There's some really, really weird cities. I also lived in Massachusetts for about 2 years, and I lived in a city called Worcester. But the thing about Worcester is it's...
like the sauce.
Yeah,
the sauce.
But it's called Worcester.
Worcester.
It's spelled Worcestershire, but you say it Worcester.
Worcester. Worcester.
And everyone I talk to about this is like, I fucking hate that so much. What's wrong with Massachusetts?
We're out of hay.
Oh shit, I'll pick some up.
Worcester. I see, and the way I'm pronouncing it is the British pronunciation, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear
Worcester.
that.
Because again, I lived in the UK, so when I see something like Worcestershire, I pronounce it like Worcestershire instead of Worcester. I'm having trouble pronouncing it the way that you're pronouncing it, Coffee, because I lived in the UK for 2 years. Worcester.
Worcester. It's almost more like you kind of want to start with like Worcester.
Worcester. See, even then, the end it still sounds off.
Yeah, it does.
Like,
that's so funny.
I'm actually having trouble pronouncing it the way you're pronouncing it, Coffee, because I lived in the UK. That's so weird. I love language, and
I love language too. Yeah.
So, did you know that there actually technically is an Antarctic accent?
Really?
I'm going to bring up a Tom Scott video.
Fair.
Because I feel like whenever I go off on a tangent like this, there's always a Tom Scott video involved. And in this Tom Scott video, it was either Tom Scott or someone else. Similar video style. But they had people speaking a variety of different languages, and they had them recorded them both before and after. Like, I think it was either a 6 or 1 year interval. I don't remember the exact interval off the top of my head, but there was the way they pronounced things tended to settle on one common pronunciation. That was an amalgamation of all of the accents of the people who lived there.
Sure, they sort of developed a Creole, almost a Creole accent, I guess.
Yes, actually,
it's not really a Creole.
Yes. An accent. Yeah. And I thought that was really interesting. W is V because you're German. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how to pronounce Worcester.
There you go. That was pretty close.
Worcester. Like using a ch feels right rather than a you know?
Yeah. No, it's an upsetting pronunciation, honestly.
No, it's not that. It's just living in UK. I feel wrong trying to do a instead of a ch. There's places like Worcester. What's it called? What's another one? I'm blanking on it right now.
This is a very depressing and very relatable cutscene. Is all I'm gonna say about it. Shane's passed out drunk on the floor.
Ooh.
Like I've lived that life. I was talking about this on stream yesterday. Like I get it.
Yeah, no, accents are weird. I like accents. They're cool.
Yeah, so cool. I'm just gonna buy 500 hay.
I mean, we have more money than we know what to fucking do with.
We do. I'm also gonna buy some grass starters and try to build a grass field. I'll
try not to cut that down out of ADHD.
Yeah.
Gaming. Hey, Platinum, how are you doing?
I'm told I have an accent, but no idea what type. Yeah, So with my like native accent is no, I can Lily say maybe. Can you say the infamous Welsh town?
I'm sorry, when I see a double L, I think immediately as a yeah.
Yeah.
That's against Spanish. Your hair. I honestly, that looks like bottom text. That looks like bottom key smashing. And you know what? I didn't know that. Like, which is why I joke that all bottoms can speak fluent Welsh. Because that's what it looks like to me.
That's amazing.
Also, it's interesting because there's also, Icelandic has also really neat pronunciations. Like,
yes.
Reykjavik is actually pronounced Reykjavik.
Oh, really?
Or Reykjavik. I'm, like, my wife would, if my wife was listening right now, she'd get on my case about this.
I'm sure.
Oh, I won't get that train.
I need to rush to Pierre's. Bottom text,
yes. Another thing that she teased me about is, like, whenever, when we were in Gothenburg, and she'd ask me she'd pick random street signs, like, okay, now try to pronounce that, and then she'd giggle at me, and then, like, tell me how to pronounce it, and I'd try to pronounce it, and then she'd say it again, and I'd try to pronounce it. Wait, what the horse just, that cutscene dismounted me from the horse.
Oh, weird.
But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. Swedish places are fun to pronounce.
Yeah.
Mainly because Icelandic languages are fun. They sound funny. They have funny words.
My girlfriend almost learned Icelandic because she has an interest in Norse history and mythology, and like that's the hottest thing ever.
One of the coolest things that I didn't know about the Finnish language is that Finnish and Russian share a common alphabet.
Yes.
I actually didn't know that until fairly recently.
Well, Finland was part of the Russian Empire for a long time. That's actually partially why the hottest thing ever. Good to know. Look, I'm a nerd. Yeah, that's actually why the Winter War was formed, to because I think Finland... I'm going to completely butcher the history, but I think they gained their independence during the Soviet Revolution, and the USSR wanted Finland back under Russian control.
Interesting. They're not worth anything, but...
Well, they're not even real. It's a Japanese conspiracy.
What?
Oh, you didn't...
Oh, no,
you didn't...
about...
I thought you were saying the Finnish aren't worth anything.
Oh, no.
I was like, damn, Lily.
No. I'm talking about leprechaun shoes that I found in game.
Oh, okay.
No. Come in.
Oh, I said I'm a huge nerd, Gustav. I mean, okay, so I'm gonna be mushy on stream a little bit. Like, I met, you know, for people who watch my stream a lot, you know who I'm talking about. But I met my girlfriend through a mutual friend who's a VTuber, and who's also a VTuber. And we hit it off, and I literally had a moment where I was like, hey, this girl's pretty cool. And she's pagan. And she's also pagan. And she has an interest in history and theology. And she lives 2 hours away from me. Oh gods, this is dangerous.
Did I tell you something? Oh, okay,
and,
so I was
like
on,
7 months later, we're dating, so...
I was on one of those YouTube walks that I've been wanting to go on, and what's interesting is, like, I somehow, I don't know why, but I was watching videos on, like, the Bible and stuff like that, like, interpretations and stuff, and one of the most interesting things is that seems to be, at some point, where early Judaism was polytheistic.
Yes.
And I think that's honestly dope.
Yes.
And, like, it also, like, has, like...
Which some people believe explains the multiple names for the Judaic god. Is that he kind of became an amalgamation of many of the early gods of Judaism.
And it's interesting because
gods of the Jewish people.
And you can also see, like, parts of it where stuff, like, is scrubbed from there, where, like, it, like... changes meanings based on the stuff that's written after it or whatnot, and it's just really interesting.
Yeah, I'm really rusty on my Abrahamic theology, but it's something I was really interested in for many years.
As someone who's hella interested in Gnosticism, which borrows a little bit from Abrahamic religions.
Yeah.
Incredibly my shit. I love goetic demons. Goetic demons are kind of like my aesthetic. That's actually, I have one of the crests of one of the 72 demons mentioned in Ars Goetia on the back of my new design.
Ooh, I didn't notice that's what that was.
Yes, that is what that was. You'll see when I reveal my new design, that's the only detail you get about my new design, is I did take inspiration from Goetic demons, because I think they're dope as hell. And the reason I actually commissioned the artist I did is because we talked about a bunch about, like, Ars Goetia and stuff like that, and she's super into like that kind of stuff too. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, I know who I'm commissioning now. That's Bees on Baby. She's a sweetheart.
She is a sweetheart. I don't talk to her enough.
Absolutely wonderful artist. We concept up my character design from every design. I'm excited for where that goes.
I've told you, like I desperately need to focus on my debut, but I told you I'm considering a redesign, and I think I told you what I'm considering to redesign, right?
I don't think you told me what. You just told me that you were, and you can probably talk about this off stream.
Yeah, we'll talk. It is stuff that I can't talk about on stream. It's related to something that you know about that I can't talk about on stream.
I'm probably not thinking
probably
about it at the
gets you a
moment, but
hint.
I'll probably remember. I'll probably remember once you fill me in.
Yeah.
But we can talk later.
Back had to check what that weird smell was. Turns out my make is baiting. Oh no. Made Lurk can play some Genshin. Oh, okay, thanks for that.
I love those kind of brownies. Those kind of brownies are great. You know what's if you can't get over the taste, my recommendation to you is mix it with vanilla ice cream.
Ooh, that sounds yummy.
It actually is very good, and helps mask some of the taste.
I just don't much care for the way it feels.
That's fair. That's fair.
I prefer alcohol. Like it just feels nicer to me.
Oh shit! I need to kill 50 skeletons. Let me go do that.
Oh shit! Yeah, I've been meaning to do that.
I'm gonna go murder.
Hello, puppy. Yeah, I was talking about this this morning on stream. The thing with weed, which for Twitch's sake and for the sake of the TOS is legal where I live and is legal where Lily lives.
It is also legal here too.
To take enough for whatever reason it doesn't affect me very much, and if I take enough for me to feel it, it lasts for like a week. In my experience. You know, or some side effect of it will last for like a week. And last time I took a significant amount, I was like literally feeling it for 7 or 8 days. Nap time. Okay, thank you for the lurk.
Karen, hope you have a nice nap. Really, I keep getting no floors with skeletons on them.
Ah, damn. I need to clear out the, lightning rods. Because I think there's another storm today. It might just be raining. I could be wrong.
There we go.
Oh wait, I keep forgetting I'm supposed to leave these trees for you to cut down.
That's okay. We can always grow more. Where did skeletons start spawning, by the way?
I do not remember.
I want to say 40?
That sounds right. Oh, are our starfruit ready? I think our starfruit are ready. Yep.
See me here.
Yeah, computer's a little angry.
Okay, thank you, Daddy. Okay.
Oh, because they didn't have food yesterday. Alright, that's fair.
Where is burger? Sorry, my dad brought me his phone and is ordering food.
Oh, cool. No worries.
Where is it?
Okay, I need to repair the wall.
Welcome back. There it is.
Burger. Okay, now let's get...
Back a moment.
Okay. I think I'm gonna buy more, I almost said sourdough. More grass starters. Yeah, I'm gonna go buy more grass starters.
Alright. I also figured out the source of what my dad was doing. Like, he was making all that noise for it earlier.
Oh,
We have a ceiling fan now in the other room.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. And I'm also getting a burger for dinner.
I want burger. Okay, yeah, it is storming.
We can get some Red Robin. I love Red Robin.
Ooh.
Have you been like you're West Coast, and it's a West Coast thing, and I know they have them in Cali.
Yeah,
where you are.
Yeah, I've had them a couple of times. There's not a lot like specifically where I am, but
they are by far one of my favorite chain burger places.
What am I looking for? Grass starter. Oh wait, I can make a grass starter. What do I need to make a grass starter? I forgot about the recipe.
You need
fiber. Yes, I'm gonna.
First, you need it like a Bulbasaur, maybe a Chikorita.
It's a good joke. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Heck, are skeletons. The Skelly-mans.
Skelly-mans. Oh, we don't have a lot. We don't have a lot of fiber though.
Are the Skelly-mans?
All right, so that's all I can make for that. That's not enough. I'm gonna buy more grass starters. Fiber is actually like kind of rare for us right now because we've cleared everything out. Need y'all to resolve a debate. If you're already spiking a baked food, should you add candies to it? Are they spiked candies?
I mean, adding M&Ms isn't too bad.
Yeah.
Or like chocolate chips would be nice.
If they're like...
I found the skeletons.
If they're candy for like flavor, then absolutely. If they're like edible candies, then probably not.
Overkill.
It's overkill.
I'm probably not going to be able to get all the skeletons killed now.
Do we have to do it today?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I picked it up and then forgot to follow through on it.
Oh, no,
so.
You picked it up, you told me, and I said, okay, and then I forgot, because it was...
Yeah, it's on both of us.
Yeah.
So don't stress about it.
I'm going to kill as many as I can, though.
Okay.
Lily's murder speedrun.
The only thing I do ask is if you do cut down any of the grass, leave some remaining and use a golden scythe.
I don't have a golden scythe, you have it.
Oh, okay. We only have the one, so I'll try and go get the golden scythe.
I thought it was only one per playthrough.
No, I think there's one per player.
Is there? Huh?
I could be wrong.
Could be gay.
I am so gay.
Yo, mood thing.
They're tiny red sugar balls, so yeah, I agree with y'all overkill. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh my god, have I don't know how to ask this without it sounding wild. Have I told the nun porn story on stream before?
What? Okay, now I need to know.
Okay, so I lived with a coworker at one point in my life in a beach town, and we shared a studio together. and we lived like 5 miles from the place we worked, and I used to bike to work. So I had a shift that day, and he didn't. And he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna go down to the dispensary and pick some stuff up." And I'm like, "All right, cool, have fun, like whatever." He comes back, and it's like they were giving out free edibles. I was like, "All right, I'm just getting ready for work, so I'm just gonna like take one. I'm gonna take this and hang out." And I'm like, "All right, you have fun. I'm headed off to work." And as I'm leaving, he's like, "It says to only take half of it to start, so I don't know if I'm gonna do that or if I'm just gonna eat the whole thing." It was like a candy bar. And I'm like, "You know what, dude? You just do you." So I leave and I go to work, and I have a 5-hour shift, so I'm gone for 5.5, 6 hours.
Right.
I come back, and we live in a studio apartment, so he's laying in bed with with the windows open and watching nun porn on the TV. And I walk in there, and he's like, "I took the whole thing. I can't move."
What?
Window wide open, everybody in the apartment complex who walks by can see that he's watching nun porn. And he's just, like, paralyzed from weed.
Oh my fucking god. That's so wild. What did I get? Yeah, I only got 7. There weren't enough skeletons. I'd have to, like, kill several over several days.
That's alright. Yeah, that was a wild point in my life.
That's crazy.
I guess we could harvest ginger. Well, I'm not gonna go to the island right now, so I guess I'll do some fishing. You know what? I'm gonna check. I wanna...
You, Violet. Oh, I just realized that it's been almost like 6 hours for you, hasn't it?
Yeah. That's cool. We can go a couple more days and then wrap up. I was planning to stream for a while.
We gotta optimize this emote for dark mode, yeah. But like if you don't use sorry. Yeah, for dark mode, yeah, probably. It was made for me by someone on Twitter who was making a bunch of them for VTubers.
Mm-hmm.
Good enough, honestly. I feel like the scuff makes it more charming.
Oh, there's weeds down here. I can get more fiber.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, that was a weird situation. By the way, if I had a nickel for every time that I was almost homeless, but had a coworker have a bed open in the place they were living for like a price that I could afford, I would have 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice. That's how I ended up in that apartment. My roommate was like, "Well, I just broke up with my girlfriend. Do you want to move in? I can't afford the rent."
Been almost twice as well.
Ugh, it sucks. I guess I've been almost homeless more than twice, but I've been bailed out by coworkers twice.
Oh, that's nice at least.
Yeah.
Strange world where people can go homeless, right?
Ugh.
Hella fun. Hella fun.
Imagine being homeless in a country where there's more vacant homes than homeless people.
Right? Kind of cringe, right? Am I right? Am I right, gamers?
Not gonna lie. Okay.
Also, I'm hydrating again.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Ugh. Okay. I need to repair that wall again.
Yeah, they're gonna be slowly breaking, like, one at a time for the next several weeks.
I hate it. I want a mod that just removes that feature.
Yeah, honestly.
Feature, quote unquote.
It would be one thing if there was, like, an advanced wall that never breaks. You know?
Damn it. Fucker.
Alright, I need to harvest.
I was thinking for our next, our next barn, we can just expand down.
Totally.
And put it there. Oh wait, the animals can eat the grass.
Oh, yeah. That'll help save us hay, too. You need a pretty big grazing area to make the grass, like, actually recover fast enough, though. Oh, I need to go pick up more starfruit seeds today.
Having open ports on your router for old video games.
Oof.
My favorite is that Doom uses port 10666.
Oh, that's so good. I didn't know that.
It's cute. It's cute.
It's really cute. Ah, I'm stuck.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, because we didn't have, I used DoorDash.
Alright.
We dropped it from Red Robin, so it's different.
Okay,
How many starfruit do I have? 38 plus 41. My brain just shut off at the promise of doing math.
here we go.
That's 39 plus 40 is 79 plus 17 is 86, 96.
That should be. Alright, cool. We are now burger ordered. Burger has been ordered. For real this time. Burger real.
Burger real.
Burger real.
Burger real.
Burger real.
What's wrong with us?
Don't know.
I don't either.
Oh no, Platinum, please be gentle with New Vegas. It's a very, very old program.
Oh.
Real.
Just finished building the galactic equivalent of the UN building. Nice.
Gamer,
What's up, gamer?
how's it gaming?
It's gaming. It's
Hell yeah.
game a layman. Alright. I'm gonna extend the fence for the animals after I empty my inventory. I'm gonna put
I have a feeling
these...
if we're gonna need more cheese makers. Gimme,
Probably.
come over, Hiromi. I'll give you burger.
You think 41 star fruit is enough? I'm gonna sell the silver and gold ones.
We need 9 regular quality star fruit for to build the automating thing.
I think we only need one of them at least.
No, we need 9.
Well, I mean one of the automating things. Love its description as well.
Yeah.
Interstellar Assembly, the official, unofficial political forum of the galactic community. I love that. That's great. Can you mill corn? Like, I know you can IRL. Cannot be milled. Okay.
I think we'll like barely have enough space if we step up cheese production.
Okay. Cool.
Like this massive basement is still doesn't fall all the way with cheese.
Yeah. If we like double it, we'll be good.
If we double it, it'll probably fill up the rest.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That, like, we won't be
Possibly
wasting...
a little bit left over, but that'll also give us a lot of money.
True.
I'm gonna go ahead and start knocking this wall down.
Oh, okay. Duck, move. Do you mind building a gate?
Not at all.
Just so we can get back to the silo easier?
Yeah, duck. D-U-C-C. Sorry.
Duck.
So, duck.
Duck.
D-U-C-C. Duck.
I like ducks. I love the noises
Oh,
they
like
make in this game.
I like the noises the chickens make, but we've already been over this.
Same. I do too, though. Oh my god, this duck is freaking out.
You having a normal one?
Yeah. Me. There. Go home. Go home, duck. This goat's confused. Cool. Alright, and then I'm gonna go get more, fiber. I don't remember if the golden scythe gives you more fiber and mixed seeds. I don't think it does.
I honestly don't even know what it does.
It gives you more hay when you cut grass.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
It might help with weeds too. I'm not sure. Hello, Hat Mouse.
Do you have any more of those grass starters?
I don't. I'm getting, I can, plant more, though. We don't really... I'd say I would make more, but we don't have the fiber for it. That's why I'm getting fiber right now.
I was saying, because we can put some in the area near the barn.
Yeah. I don't think we have enough ground area for it to, like, really regrow much, but...
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I was just thinking so it looked nice.
It's way too late for me to buy more. Yeah, it will look nice, but the animals will eat it, is the thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is good, because they won't use hay, but... You know.
Ungood, because it doesn't grow back fast enough.
Yeah. I mean, we could make, like, a giant pasture for all our animals, but it would have to be pretty large.
What she said. Shit, accidentally demolished a wall and I was trying to move torches. I'll put that back here real quick. It'll probably make me pass out before I can get back to bed.
Shit. I'm probably gonna pass out too.
It's okay, we have the money.
Yeah.
I think we should probably end it here.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I need to... You talking about burgers made me hungry, and I need to figure out dinner. I may actually go to a, although they haven't had chicken lately. Oh, yeah, I'm passing out. I may go to a Carl's Jr. and get a lettuce wrap, because it's cheap.
Sounds good.
And there's one not too far from here. Yeah, we made more money just from selling corn.
Nice, nice.
Then we're gonna spend for
Alrighty.
passing out. Alright, let's save.
Alright.
I think I've been guiding the raid lately. Do you have anybody you want to raid?
I'm actually going to be continuing to stream after this. I was planning on doing a Halo collab.
Oh, cool.
With Sage. And what I was gonna do is I was gonna put up a BRB for a while and wait for talk to Sage, and then maybe go eat for a second. And also split the VOD.
Yeah, totally. Okay. In that case, I'm just gonna raid you.
Alright.
and we'll go from there. So
Alrighty.
I will be back, or well, I'm gonna talk to my chat a bit. I love you, sweetie. Have a great rest of your stream.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. We're gonna raid Lily Dusk. If you are not already, feel free to give me a follow on Twitter for my inane ramblings and updates on my streams. The best place to get notified about when I go live is by joining the Discord. The Girl Arc is a VTuber community, including myself and my wife Akorza, and is just a great community and a bunch of sweet people there. If you haven't already, give me a follow here on Twitch so you can see when I'm live whenever you're on. And the raid message is as follows. However, if you are subscribed to my channel, you can raid with this message instead. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate you sticking around with me all day. This has been a fun stream. Like I said, I don't know how much I'm going to be doing these 6 to 8 hour streams, but c'est la vie. Always fun. I am going to go check on my wife because she doesn't have any power and I miss her. Hopefully her power's back on. That would be really sad if it wasn't. Alright, let's see. I think she is AFK, so hopefully the raid goes through properly. We'll find out. Love y'all.
It's new. I'm excited.
The first bite is always best. Is it crispy?
It's crispy.
Is it juicy?
It's juicy.
Is it tender?
Dude, the spicy one is so good.
Gotta pace yourself, okay?
I know.
I have to remind you to chew.
That might be true. Oh, it's so tender.
So good.
Try the new crispy chicken sandwich today.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
It's weird to talk about creativity because to me, creativity, just being yourself. I look at what